What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update. Before I crack on with today's transfer update, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. Remember, I'm going to be doing daily Manchester City transfer updates from June for you guys to keep up to date here on YouTube every single day when it comes to the busy summer transfer window. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim, and do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. Finally, I'd say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Football Prizes, and you've only got a couple of days left of their latest competition where you can go and win 2 hospitality tickets for Manchester City v Manchester United in the FA Cup final at Wembley on the 25th of May. Also included are instant prizes where you can win a signed shirt. I presume it's going to be City fans watching it, so you can win potentially signed shirts from Phil Foden, from Vincent Kompany and from Edison as well. You could also choose to select to win a signed shirt from Manchester United. Not too sure why you'd want to go and do that, but alternatively that is the option where you can get signed shirts from Mainu, from Robin Van Persie and from Onana as well. I would say a big thank you to Football Prizes for sponsoring this video. Do go and check them out. Links and details there in the description, and ticket entry is £2.95 to enter. So do go and check it out. As I said, last couple of days for you to go and enter to win that wonderful prize. So, onto the transfer update, onto the outs, and we've got the very latest on Tommy Doyle. Now, the Atheltic have said that Wolverhampton Wanderers plan to make their move for Tommy Doyle permanent this summer. They say that Wolves have the option to make that transfer permanent if they so wish for £4 million, and Wolves are going to take up that option for Tommy Doyle to remain their player on a permanent basis. Of course, he spent the season out on loan at Wolves. He's done very well, and Wolves want to keep him in the long run. So I'd be surprised if Tommy Doyle is still a Manchester City player after this summer, with that option to buy included as part of the loan deal for the transfer from last season. So it's very much looking like Tommy Doyle isn't going to be seen in a Manchester City shirt, certainly anytime soon, if he does end up at any point rejoining the club or at all, which I think will be a sad day, because Tommy Doyle, brilliant player, and I think, yeah, I want him to do very well, but I'd like him to be at Manchester City, but it is what it is when it comes to these loan deals. We'll see if City end up including some kind of purchase option, sell-on fee or buyback clause. We'll wait for the finer details on that, but Wolves taking up a brilliant option there of grabbing a brilliant young player in Tommy Doyle for just £4 million. So, moving on, we've got the very latest on Joao Cancelo, and Pep Guardiola has been speaking about his future and has confirmed that Manchester City and Joao Cancelo and his camp are going to sit down and discuss his future in the summer. It is widely expected that Cancelo is going to be told once more what he got told last season, which is he doesn't have a future at Manchester City, and that Man City and Joao Cancelo's camp, it'd be best for them to seek a permanent move elsewhere. Barcelona dragging their heels when it comes to that transfer. So again, something for me to get my teeth into when it gets to the summer. Now, moving on to the final transfer of the outs, takes us on to an update on Bernardo Silva. Now, La Parisien over in France have said that PSG are going to renew their interest in Bernardo Silva, with that release clause becoming active this summer for £50 million. Now, Reshad Rahman over on Twitter has said that Bernardo Silva is crazy about joining Barcelona this summer, but he says that any deal that is going to happen would need Barcelona to sell players and use player funds to be able to fund for a move for Bernardo Silva. He also says that Bernardo Silva may need to take a pay cut to join Barcelona, and Bernardo Silva is prepared to take that pay cut to make a move happen to Barcelona. Now, Toni Juanmarti over on Twitter has also said that Barcelona are struggling to be able to afford that £50 million release clause for Bernardo Silva this summer, even if they do secure player sales. He says that Barcelona feel like Bernardo Silva's value is more £35 to £40 million, and they feel like a bid of that might just be enough to get the transfer done, which I added on my notes because I don't really have anything else left to add on to it. I just put lol. I think if Barcelona came in with a £35 million bid, I'd just reply. I wouldn't even accept or decline the offer. I'd just reply back to him. I'd send a fax actually, just put lol, because it's just not worth entertaining or dignifying. Bernardo Silva for £50 million is cheap as chips. It's an unholy amount of money for a player that you can pick up. I mean, look at the Premier League, look at the transfers, look at the players that you can pick up for £50 million, and they're speaking about Bernardo Silva being picked up for £50 million. In today's market, if that release clause wasn't there, I'd be looking at double that amount. So £50 million for a world-class player like Bernardo Silva is very affordable for any club that wants to go out there and add a world-class player who improves all starting 11s out there. And the fact that Barcelona are dragging the heels, trying to be cheap, I just wouldn't entertain it. I'd just tell them to go away. Anyway, moving on to the ins, we've got the very latest on Michael Olise, and Alan Nixon's been speaking about his future and says that Manchester City are still thinking about making a move for Olise of Crystal Palace in the summer. But a lot does depend on what Manchester City want to do with Savio, of course, the young player we're bringing in from Estoril over in France. Now, the first thought is that Manchester City were going to loan Savio out, apparently been offered to Girona once more on loan, which is where he's spending the season out on loan this season and doing very well. It's thought that he'll spend another season out on loan with them because he is very settled. Apparently, according to Alan Nixon, Savio has also been offered to Premier League clubs on loan, but it's now unclear about whether he is still available for loan or not, with Savio expected to do pre-season with Manchester City. So if he does impress, he could choose, or Man City could choose to keep him with the first team squad for the whole season, which means a move for Olise or any of the other wide players like your Eze's probably isn't going to happen because City have already spent the money and brought Savio in. So it's all about what does City want to do with Savio. We're not going to know what we want to do with him until at least the end of July. So if any moves are to be made for wide players, then it will take the sale of Bernardo Silva for that to be forced to happen, and or what happens with Savio. So it might be something we look at more towards later in the window rather than earlier. And speaking about earlier in the window takes us nicely onto an update on Bruno Guimaraes over at Newcastle United. Now, Sam Dean at the Daily Telegraph has said that Man City are keen on Bruno Guimaraes this summer, along with Arsenal, but he does say that he's got a release clause in his contract worth £100 million. Now, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Bruno Guimaraes' release clause is active at the end of May until the end of June, so very early in the window. So if Man City do want to go out there to sign Bruno from Newcastle United, then there's no real room for negotiation. Newcastle will point towards that release clause, and the fact that we've paid £100 million release clause on Jack Grealish a couple of summers ago, Newcastle will be expecting that Man City, if they do want to sign Bruno, are going to have to do that as well. After that, it's open for negotiation. So after the end of June, it's open for negotiation, and I imagine that Newcastle will probably up the price of Bruno to try and keep him at the club. So it would take Bruno to force through a move to Arsenal or Manchester City, more than likely, to make that transfer happen. And we're having a bit of complications when it comes to City, because Jack Gaughan has confirmed that City are keeping an eye on Bruno, but they're yet to make an offer. They're keeping an eye on numerous players in that position, and I'm presuming here, but I reckon I'm probably right with this, that I reckon Man City probably won't like the £100 million price and would like to bring that down, because we were prepared to spend around £75 to £80 million to sign Lucas Paqueta. There was an £85 million release clause in his contract, and City are dragging the heels over that. So to add an extra £15 million on for Bruno, I'm not too sure if City are going to say yay or nay here. They're going to deliberate that, but if they do want to sign Bruno, then it's going to have to be between the end of May and the end of June. If we get to the end of June and nothing's happened, Newcastle aren't going to bring that price down. It's not going to be negotiated, and it's not going to happen. And what we don't want to do with a big summer coming up where we potentially could be looking at 3 to 5 players being brought in by the club, what we don't want to do is to spend 4 to 6 weeks wasting our time to not sign a player. So we need to identify our targets now, get the discussions and the ball rolling to get some transfers sorted sooner rather than later, so we're not leaving things too late. Might be a bit complicated with the European Championships happening this summer, so I wonder if Man City may want to get the ball rolling even after the FA Cup final at the end of May into early June and get something sorted, just so you're getting things in place and in order before you want to push on and spend a little bit more money. The rumours rumours are that City are going to have around £200 million to spend. So with that being said, I suspect that City will be looking at probably 3 or 4 players depending on who leaves. We don't know what's happening with Ortega Moreno. We don't know what's happening with Bernardo Silva. We don't know what's happening with Joao Cancelo. We're still to sort out the future of Savio. So there's lots of little question marks still to be ironed out. Once that gets sorted, City have a clear idea and a clear indication where they want to go in the summer transfer window. And I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single step of the way with all the latest Manchester City transfer news this summer on YouTube. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It is free to subscribe. All you need to do is press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on, and you'll be notified immediately for when I do upload, so you can keep up to date every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments below, and do go and check out today's video sponsor, Football Prizes. Remember, £2.95 to enter per ticket. You can purchase as many tickets as you want to be in with a chance of winning 2 hospitality tickets of Manchester City v Manchester United in the FA Cup final. Manchester Derby, Wembley Stadium, May 25th. What's not to love? Do go and check it out. It's only the last couple of days for you guys to go and enter. Remember, there are instant prizes to be won, including that of signed shirts where you can pick from either Phil Foden or Kobe Mainoo, Vincent Kompany or Robin Van Persie or Edison or Onana. So do go and check it out. Links and details, they are in the description. And thank you very much to Football Prizes for sponsoring this video. And I will see you guys real soon for the next Manchester City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.